This is an odd one, Tom. For all the amount of times that our guest today has brought you and I onto the stage, this is the first time we've ever introduced him, I think.
Yeah, I noticed he was visibly uncomfortable. He's the man that normally runs the show, but what an absolute winner!
We should have twisted the knife a bit more. We should have left him waiting to come on a little bit longer.
Yeah, I know.
We should have. Do you know what we should? Do you know what we should do right now, Tom? We should lose the run of ourselves and do 20 minutes of material before we bring him on.
And then go, oh, I suppose I better bring a comedian on. Which
I suppose your next act on. Which in fairness, our guest does not do all that often. But I've had it done to me. He never does it, but I've had it done to me by so many MCs. I'm terribly sorry, but Gar is just going to be the one that has to get it back.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's like that. The kid who's unhappy with their life, they just attack everybody else. But Gar he's the consummate showman. He's all about the team, all about the night, and if he isn't, he's not happy with himself unless everybody does well. And he normally is. Well, hello
He'll
everybody.
Normally bring it home.
Hello everybody.
Oh, yeah, by the way, hello. It's Tom and Jerry show.
We get very excited.
We're not getting paid by the word here, Tom.
It's true. Yeah, I know. But this is the Tom and Jerry show. You're all very welcome. This is, of course, another bonus episode where we bring, if you're your very first time listening, we bring people from typically the entertainment profession. So there has been politicians and there's been sports people who've all had a rough day. The idea was born out of 5 series of the Tom and Jerry show where we discussed our worst gigs ever. And Jerry went, you know what? We should spread the pain and ask other
misery.
People. Ask
misery
other
loves
people.
company, Tom.
Turns out a lot of people do have have had shit days on the job.
Including our guest today. And hey, Tom, in spite of ourselves, we still managed to ramble on for quite some time before we brought him on. So we did the one thing we said we didn't do. We have become what we hate, Tom, which is an MC that just fucking rambles on. And still I continue.
I know. Look, it's only right and proper to myself and Jerry. Go back to the green room and please welcome to the stage the amazing Gar Murran. And we're going back to our roots, Jer. We're going back and we're going talking to a comedian today. I'm excited.
I'm just looking at this screen here, Tom, and I'm seeing Gar in the middle with you and me either side of it. That's a good comedy night out, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway,
that's worth $8.50 of any man's money.
Gar Murran, you're very welcome to the Tom and Jerry show, mate.
Thanks, lads. Delighted to be here.
You sound it.
Let's go for it. Don't mind the way I sound. I always sound downbeat. I'm smiling. You just can't see that though, but I am smiling.
Metaphorically smiling on the inside.
Yeah, on the inside. Yeah, I'm beaming.
Gar, I got to tell you one thing. Anytime I can't speak for Tom, but I know anytime I've been out doing comedy and you're the MC, I always feel like I'm in safe hands. Like, sometimes an MC will do too much material or they won't get the crowd just right. But anytime, and then when you go on to do your gig, you're like, all right, okay, well, fuck me, I suppose. Anytime I see you out there, Gar, I always say, look, we're in safe hands. Gar will set him up right, and after that, it's easy for the likes of me and Tom. But is it always like that, Gar?
No, if I don't like you, I'll fuck you over.
First 2 years, you kept fucking me over until we actually got on.
It is, yeah, because nobody wants the MC to do better than the MC does, and you only really notice a good MC, I think, when you have a bad one.
Yes.
When you do a gig, no matter who it is, if you go to a new place that has a bad MC, you're like, what the fuck is that? Oh my God, am I going on to this?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who said it. I've literally been brought on to this before. These are a bunch of cunts. I'm just going to do about 5 minutes and get you on. Inside of 20 seconds, all I heard was, right, yous don't like me. Here's Gar Murran. And to be fair, there was something lovely about that because I thought, Jesus, that's the level you want to get to where you have contempt for every single person that's paid. And you're just like, best of luck, Gar, you sort it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, ordinarily, yeah, of course, you try your best. I want to do well for myself, and in order for that to happen, as a byproduct, it'll go well for you. But yeah, and I don't want to follow somebody who's died of death either. I know people think that we're all competitive and stuff, but I genuinely don't want to have to go up and sweep up after somebody who's just had a nightmare.
It's a perfect description.
Go
Go sweep up after this bastard. Make
yeah,
fucking
you're
bits of
covering
this.
everything. Or you say, I
Shit up
say,
against the
now you're
walls.
going to love this next act of Gig Room Loads. It's Tom O'Malley. And then I bring you on and you die of death. And then they're like, you vouched for him. You said he was good. He's fucking terrible. I've had people at breaks say to me, Gar, what's the story? You said your man was good. I was like, look, everyone's different. There's 300 people in here. I can't cater to everybody's taste. Like, they get offended. You can listen to bad music and you go, it's just not my type of thing. It's fine.
Yeah, move on.
But people feel entitled to go up to comedians and say, yeah, Pat, you are shit. What are you doing with yourself, man? Like, just stop. There's no problem saying that to you.
But like Jerry said, every time I'm on a lineup with you, Gar will always do well. You know what I mean? And set it up nicely for you. But listen, you've been doing comedy for donkey's years. It can't be a smasher every single time. So we're not here to all rub each other's backs. We need some misery from you, Gar.
No, well, I'll give you some misery. One was, you'll both be familiar with this, the Flowing Tide. I did a gig there. Now, even if you do well in the Flowing Tide, you want to kill yourself. That's even if you do well, right? So now this is going back.
I was just going to say you're going back with this one.
Yeah, well, I'm going to use this because this is a standout one, and then obviously I have more recent ones, but this one was a doozy. So I had been trying to get into, I think it was Kilkenny, and Eddie, remind me, Eddie
Nessens?
It wasn't Eddie Nessens, like Eddie Bannon. Bannon ran it. And I rang Eddie. Somebody said, ring Eddie. You're great, Gar. Ring Eddie, he'll put you on. So I rang Eddie. I said, Eddie, look, any chance of getting into the Kilkenny? Now, we're going back years here.
Yeah.
And he said, I'd have to see you, Gar. Are you gigging anywhere? And I said, well, I was in the Laughter Lounge the weekend. He said, no. He said, anywhere else? And I did not want to say Flowing Tide. Anyone that doesn't know Flowing Tide, like, it's just, like, honestly, it's like it's the basement. You walk in, even when it's lit, it's dark. It is genuinely, and we've all done it. It's like gigging in a cave. But you walk in, there's columns in the way, there's barriers. Half the people can't see on the stage, even though the room's tiny. So anyway, but I was stuck. So he'd missed the Laughter Lounge, obviously, which would have been lovely and perfect and well, and everyone having great fun. And I said, well, I'm doing the Flowing Tide tonight. And he said, no way, in town? I said, yeah. Now, I had a cold as well. Like, this was the perfect shitstorm. I did not want to do the gig at all. But somehow I found myself saying, yeah, I'm doing the Flowing Tide. And he said, do you know what? I'm around town tonight. I'll drop in. And every bit of me thought, oh, well, that's me. Fuck, I'm not doing it. And that's the end of that. So anyway, long story short, this is about 3 hours later. A mate of mine is going into the gig. And I think he's got a girlfriend at the time. And he said, I'm in here. Now, text me at about 8 o'clock, probably starts about 9, half 9. Text me about 8 o'clock. And he said, are you really gigging here tonight?
Oh, no.
which, you know, is always a bad fucking sign. Because he knew I was. I'd spoken to him. I texted him. He knew. So then when I saw his text saying, are you really gigging here? I was like, he's trying to put the shit up me. He knows it's a big deal. Trying to do Kilkenny. We'll see. So about 20 minutes later, I get another text. Genuinely, Gar, are you coming into this? And so
this.
Now I'm at the bus stop at this stage, and I'm like, I'm not going to let him fuck up my zen. You know, the Buddhist he's not going to annoy me. He knows it. He's probably heard me slagging off the Flowing Tide before, saying it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And he's trying to put the shit up me. So I get in there, and he meets me at the door.
Some red flags here, Gar.
Fucking fireworks are going on. It's like fucking 4th of July, right? And I walk up to him, and I'm like, what's the story with all the text? He says, seriously, are you gay? I said, yeah, you know I am. What the fuck do you think I'm here for? He said, there's about 15 travellers down there. Now, this place only held probably 15 people. He said, there's 15 travellers down there, and they are sculling points. And I said, it'll be all right. I said, it's fine, no problem. He said, they're at the front. I thought, okay, more of a hassle here. he said they're talking through everyone. Some of the acts have left. Some of the acts, George Fox was one, I think, was on when I happened to walk in, and he was more or less eyeball to eyeball with one of the lads, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a whopper of a night. So I'm thinking, well, there's no way Eddie Bannon's going to come into this anyway. So I get up and I do my thing, and I see him in the corner, and half of me's thinking, just go, just leave. Anyway, as I'm up, the lads are kicking off. They want the telly on. The telly's above my head, and they thought, right? I don't know if they wanted it on or wanted to fucking take it, but it was going one way or the other, right? Something was happening. They hadn't enjoyed anybody. I'd watched some of it. Everyone did well, but I mean, it was intimidating. The lads were big units, and they were just not having it. And so I got up. One of them started barking. And I'll repeat that in case you can't pick this up. One of them started barking like, right? One of his brothers, and I worked out after, we spoke after, one of his brothers said, stop with the barking now, that's enough. Which obviously to me meant, this is a thing he does. How many barks he can do over the course of a night before the big brother went, no, listen, we're being ridiculous, stop with the barking. So I get up, all this is kicking off. They're taking turns to go to the toilet. I'm aware that you lads are probably meant to speak at some point. This is fine.
This is fine.
Over.
They're taking turns. It's like they're tag teaming who goes to the toilet, but they have to pass by the stage. And every time they pass by, they eyeball to eyeball with me. And I keep telling the jokes or whatever, and they eventually come back. And I do this. They eventually, about halfway through, I realised these lads are quiet now. They're not drinking as much. The barking has stopped, which is always nice.
Which is always good.
And I think I have these on side. So I do about 22, 23 minutes, and I'm coming to the end, and the punchline, which I can't remember now, but it was a whopper. It was a one sentence, boom, mic drop, get out of there. And as I'm building up to the punchline, I can see one fella underneath the table, and I think, is he doing his lace or what's happening? He's trying to unplug the fucking mic. Now, bearing in mind, I'm coming up, the punchline's one line, one word, punchline, mic drop, I walk out, standing ovation at 15. Eddie Bannon, so 16. And I hear them saying, leave the mic. And your man saying, that's a good mic. And all the time, I'm still doing jokes. And I'm genuinely now thinking, are they trying to take the mic? Are they going to get me with the mic? Are they just trying to fuck up the gig? So one fella climbs under the table, and I hear him going, oh, I don't know how to do this, right? Now, he's louder than I am, and I have the fucking mic. And I'm speeding up there because I'm thinking, he's going to kill this, aren't he? So eventually, I'm bombing through, get to the end. I say it. The mic gets pulled out. He pulls out the mic. He pulls out there's some sort of sound system behind me. There's lights. He's pulled. It obviously used one extension cord for about 15
right.
Minutes. Everything just went. And then he said, and I literally just had to go, thanks. It was the most wounding when I got off stage. Now, luckily, I think Eddie at that stage had gone. I'm hoping he'd seen enough because I did eventually get to go in there. But as I came off, one of the lads said, my brother wants to fuck you outside. And I said, it's not the fucker that was barking, is it? He said, it is! And look, so I fucking bailed. I don't want to have a scrap with a fella and get bitten.
Do you think at any point, Gar, that your man had seen that there was so many things plugged into one outlet and he was doing a fire service?
It could have been, Jerry. Obviously, the ego of a comedian and the paranoia. I thought he was out to get me, but you could be right. He could have been health.
He'd be like, this is health and safety. We can't be doing with this here. Now, this is a fucking accident waiting to happen.
Maybe all these years I've been thinking he just didn't like me. He was determined to fuck me over, but maybe I was in the wrong.
Never have I heard a gig that I would have wanted to be at more in my life.
Even though it does sound dreadful, and it was at certain points. But as you know, like you do loads. I've done gigs, but this was early on. I'd only been gigging a little while, but I was developing the what the fuck are you looking at type of thing. And but that hardened me. And after it, I loved it in retrospect. I enjoyed it during it because I get you. It's just so crazy. You fucked up and everything's going wrong for me. And I was sick. I just was not in the humour. And it was the flowing toilet. So I think I did the gig, and I think I ended up paying Kieran to do the gig. It was like you were lucky to ever get paid in the flowing toilet, but I think at this point I probably had to pay for something. The man took the mic car, you owe me for it. All right, grand, well, you owe me for the tetanus for the shot. Okay, grand, right, we'll cancel each other out.
I do love that.
It was nice in retrospect. Yeah.
It was almost a term of endearment. Here, my brother there, he'd love to fight you.
Fondly. I'm like, yeah, that was so insane. And this went on for like about 30 minutes. It's not like I did 5 minutes and got off.
Well, no, it's
25 minutes.
As Tom says, like this could be like when they burp after meals in certain countries, it's considered a compliment. You know, it could be the case of my brother could have fought any comedian here tonight. He chose you.
Yeah, and you're the only one he barked at. Well, you're right, lads. Yeah. Yeah, it's as I say, these gigs are always dreadful at the time and then great in retrospect because you look back and you think, how did I even get through that? And because I got through it, now you can do loads of different types of gigs.
Yeah.
All good.
And for the people listening, like, I mean, for the most part, they think, stand-up comedy, you know, it must be great crack, but hard to do. Like, listen to what Gar just said. That's exactly, if ever a comedian goes, hey, you know, it's not that show, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's early doors. Listen to what Gar just fucking said and put that in context.
And not for nothing, 15 lads of any walk of life in front of you is intimidating. 15 lads in a stag party, 15 lads, 15 fucking solicitors on a night out.
And none of it's easy. In case anybody's thinking of kicking off, saying, "Oh my God," he said to our they were travellers. I spoke to them after. This is all covered. It's all. We
don't draw that sort of listener, Gar.
I know,
we don't draw that sort of listener.
Gar, that's one from years gone by, Gar. Is there any fresh wounds there you'd like to tell us about?
I'm lucky enough that I haven't had too many horrendous ones. Maybe in the past, maybe 3 years. Now, obviously, there's bits and pieces, but I mean, you should be skilled enough, unless the room is completely out of your control, like somebody's putting on the telly and then they're playing pool or something like that. That's a different thing. But I mean, within reason, I did a gig in Newcastle in England, a well-known place for being rough, stags, hens, everything. And I normally love stags and hens, but this particular night, I wasn't emceeing. I think I was closing. So they'd been drinking from, obviously Newcastle, I think we're playing at 3 o'clock, and they'd been drinking all day. Now the gig didn't start till 10, and they'd been in this room since about 7. Now stags, hens, now we're talking 300 people easy, round, in on top of each other. Stags, hens, everything. And Newcastle, rough enough play, a bit like Dublin. You don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
So it starts at 10, MC goes on, they decide within, as we spoke about earlier, they either go, I like him, he's all right, that's grand, or they immediately go, I'm going to cave his fucking head in. And that's the option they took for this fella. They weren't having him. Oh my God, it was just so, I felt so bad for it.
Was he posh English or what was it? What?
He was London, yeah. He was on a hiding to nothing. Because they
forget about it. They
sometimes just look and go, you just don't suit me, and I don't care what you're saying. I've decided already. I'm not having it. So he did go up. He did his best. He was good. He was never going to win them over. So he did about 10 at best. Got somebody else on. All the stags and hens spoke through that. Weren't having it. Took a break for about 40 minutes. Now, bearing in mind we started at 10, took a break for about 40 minutes just because they were selling so much drink. They went, look, grand. Now, normally you would start at about 9:15, I think. That's what I heard. But anyway, so it's after 11. Haven't even got to the middle section yet. So eventually, I get on at about 20 to 1.
Jesus Christ.
Now this at maybe 10 to 8 when I arrived was fucking kicking off. You knew something there was a tension. This is now 20 to 1 and this place is carnage.
Okay.
Right?
You have no business being in the building.
They shouldn't even be there. No, they making so much money on drink. They said, fuck it, the comedians don't care, just get them on, off, whatever. I was like, I care.
Yeah.
Go on. So I was like, I came from Dublin for this. So I get up, and at this point, it's just there's punch ups. There's literally just before I came on, all I heard was a glass smash. I looked through the curtain. I saw about 20 points of beer getting thrown at each other. Different stags fighting. The MC, I went quiet enough for him to say, "You lost that Gar Murran," and legged it. Right. I then got up. I'm witnessing right in front of me killings. Right. There's punch ups. Now there's obviously like genuinely. The hens are fighting. They're falling. They're slipping off the chairs. The stags are throwing digs. The stag group's throwing digs. Chairs are getting picked up and fucked across a room. I have not said hello yet. Right? I haven't even said hello.
Is everybody having a good night?
Yeah, I should have.
Any couples in?
They just weren't fucking. They were not having it. One fella, right? No, I'll leave it at this. The gig was as bad as you could expect it. I was never going to win. I was never going to make them happen. Weren't listening, whatever. Fella stood up on the table, right on the table. One fella, out of everyone, throwing the points, blah blah blah. One fella stood up, big fella, out 6'4", 6'5", monster. Stands up, picks up a glass, has it in his hand. Bouncer says, "This is the one thing I remember," or the security. Let's say that. Let's say that. The security says to him, and this is where you think, where do I stand in the pecking order of their thoughts? Is it drink? Is it stags? Is it food? Is it the comedians? Is it the aftercare of the comedians? The man stands up, pointing his hand about to fuck it. Security says to him, "Hey, get down off that table. You'll hurt yourself." Right? Now, I can't do the accent, but generally that's what he did. And I heard that and I could not stop laughing because I thought, yeah, that's the concern here. Him hurting himself with 300 people knocking the bollocks out of each other and me dying at death. That's the concern, is your man. Hey, be careful there, son.
Yeah.
You might do yourself a mischief.
You'll get a splinter.
That sentence as clear as anything. Hey, get down off that. You might hurt yourself. So I died at death. Yeah, there was no recovering that. That was just down. And I still had to do my time. You had to do half an hour of talking. So,
half an hour.
Half an hour. I mean, killings. Geez. Yeah.
There's only so many times you can sing the fucking theme song to Rawhide.
Yeah, you didn't do your time. You got paid less. So I was like, "Brand, I'm here now. I'm locked into it." There was a few listening, like obviously to be fair, but yeah, you're talking 80% killings, 20 at best. Even the people who are listening, like I was looking at them. I had disdain for them. I was thinking, why are you still fucking here?
Yeah. Do you think you would have still been paid, Gar, if instead of telling jokes you had actually waded in and started throwing digs?
Yeah, but I was outnumbered.
I have to throw punches for a half an hour here. I got 27 minutes of punches left.
I was listening. I was thinking, is any of these going to start barking?
Two times I gigged. Once wasn't too bad. I think we on an odd night in Newcastle, there must have been posh people at it or something. I don't know what. I was expecting worse, but the second time I gigged there, it was thankfully it wasn't at 20-1. It was at like 10:30 by the time I went on. So it hadn't burst. But I knew had we been there any later, it would all gone fucking Pete Tong because 15 minutes into my set, there was a fella sitting in the front row who'd heard me talk about Ireland.
Yeah.
15 minutes into my set, you could see him fucking shifting in the seat. He went, "You're fucking Irish." I went,
well spotted.
And 90% of the room, if that was anywhere else in the world, would go, "Are you fucking idiot?" You could genuinely, the rest of the room were all kind of going, "Why, aye, he fucking is." I was like, "Oh, I need to wrap this up quick and get the fuck out of here because
it can be unforgiving, all right.
If that's where we're at, we're getting the fuck out of here." Yeah. The level of like the rest of the comedians that evening, what were we talking? Was there any lads who would have died in other places?
Oh no, everybody died. I don't even remember who I was on with, but I knew that they were I was listening, so I knew there were jokes. It was irretrievable. You weren't going to get anywhere if somebody's not listening to the start of a joke. The ending means nothing. And if you're not listening to the end, what's the point of the start? Because you never get the payoff. So
It's been a feature of my worst gig ever. Most comedians that we've had on all kind of said the same thing, Gar. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree. Before you were brought on, despite everything that you'd witnessed that night, was there a little part of you that sort of said, yeah, I'll win them over?
The ego was fucking.
I got this.
I'd already planned how I was going to thank them for their kindness. Thank you for your ovation, but honestly, I'm just a person like you, so I'm not special. Not carrying me out. Put me down.
We're such a fucking curious breed of people. I swear to God, it's just like no matter what's going on, it's like I'll walk around.
But even to be fair, Jerry, that's your only option, because if you're watching it going, oh, well, I'm going to do badly as well, then you're definitely going to fucking go at that. You have to go in going, all right, well, maybe they just didn't like him, maybe they weren't listening.
I got this.
I'll do my best. But sometimes you do your best and they just go, no, you're a cunt too. That's it. It wasn't just those two. It was all of these.
It's such a weird profession that anybody else in any other field, if things were going that badly, and I'm not aligning us with fucking like high-end surgery.
Why not?
Fucking all right, let's do it. But I'm saying they're two of the only that if things were going so badly, you should pull the fucking, for the want of a better phrase, pull the plug. Most people, like if a block layer was building a wall and it would just, piss down rain on him, he'd go, fuck this, I'm going home.
Yeah, you accept things in stand-up that you would never accept anywhere else, because there's a lot riding on it. You've got a booker, you've got the staff. In your head, you'd be like, I would never run a gig here, or I'd hate to be playing here. Gary, you ready? Oh, fuck, I am playing here. Yeah. Jesus, don't bring me on. Or you're constantly playing that. Don't bring me on now. Don't bring me on now. Gary, you ready? Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm ready, yeah. Oh, no.
Well, Gar Murran, you have brightened up our Friday no end by just a little touch of misery, because let's be honest, we never want to hear about the good stuff, even in the green room and stuff. You never want to hear the good stuff. Nobody would tolerate it, especially an Irish audience.
It's like rich people. Who gives a fuck? You don't want to know somebody's rich. How's your day, Gar? Oh, wait, I tell you, lads. Oh, couldn't have went better. I have to go, Gar. Fuck off.
Gar, thank you very much for appearing on
it's a pleasure. Yeah,
worst gig ever, and we look forward to you bringing us on stage in the near future. It's going to be good to be back out, Paul.
Get me back on sometime. Yeah, no worries. Thanks, lads.
Oh, just before we do go, Gar, you've joined Instagram. You reluctantly joined Instagram.
This was big news, Gar.
I'd say this was doing the rounds among the open micers.
This for the longest time in the 10 or 15 years that I've known this man, he's been remarkably resilient to social media. And all of a sudden, he's on Instagram banging out the selfies. I'm loving it. Where was this for 10 years, Gar?
Well, Ciara, my other half, she, I'll put it this way. I don't know the login to my Instagram. So I'm still resistant. However, she does have to clear things with me. She'll say, what about this? And I'll go, are you ready on mine? Don't put that up. So if it's up there, I've okayed it, and I'm getting more into it now, but it's really not my type of thing, as you know. I have a Facebook that I can go like 5 months without you. I can sometimes go longer. So somebody will say, Gar, I wrote you on Facebook to get it. I was like, what month did you write to me? I was on it on Paddy's Day, but did you write then? No, it wasn't then. I probably didn't get it then. I am starting to be a little bit more...
what is your tell the people what your handle is there on Instagram at Gar Murran or some such?
At Gar Murran.
That'll get you.
Probably comedy. I don't even know.
I put it
in the notes below.
We put it in the thing. We put it in the thing. But definitely that came up on Instagram. It was like Gar Murran, who you may know, is on Instagram, and I'm like, this is a fucking spam account going to be selling me sunglasses and shit.
It's a Russian robot. This is not.
I was getting notifications from all the social media saying, "Are you sure somebody hasn't hacked you?" I was like, "No, it's me. It's genuinely me."
All right, Gar. Listen, thanks a million, pal, and take care.
It's a pleasure.
Gar Murran, everybody.
Round of applause there for Gar Murran. He was good, wasn't he? He was good, everybody. He was good.
There you go.
You'll never go wrong.
Never let it be said. Anytime you find 5 or more men gathered together, no matter where they're from, you're going to have a fucking shit gig on your hands.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, look, we've all been in that situation. I think I only played there once, and It was deeply forgettable.
I played there a bunch of times. I'm about a year ahead of you comedy wise, Tom. Duration of comedy career, I mean, not. I'm a year of success ahead of you there. I'm a year of fucking victory ahead of you. I had a year in the flowing tide ahead of you, so make it that what you will. Yeah, it had more fucking pillars than a Roman temple.
Flowing tide has come up a few times. We could nearly do a full deep dive into the flowing tide. We could nearly do.
And I gotta tell you, I've had wonderful drinking experiences in the flowing tide. Just comedy, not so much. Any rate, Tom, thank you very much for Gar for joining us on the Tom and Jerry Show, my worst gig ever. We've got a whole bunch more good stuff coming our way. We've got an excellent episode coming up this Monday. You all want to stay tuned for that. And what you need to do is follow us on our social media channels and you'll know when that drops down. You can follow us at Tom and Jerry Show. We'll get you on Instagram or Facebook, I nearly said, Tom, to think of it. Instagram or Twitter. Not that Facebook shite. Or you can get at Tom_O'Mahony, at Jerry McBride, Jerry with a G. You know where to get us at this stage.
It's simplistic enough. Hit subscribe if it's your very, very first time turning onto the show because of the mighty Gar. Hit subscribe and have a look back if you got some free time. There's a whole pile of episodes there. And also, if you do have the ability to, share, screen grab it, throw it up on the socials, tag us in it, tell us where you're listening, or interact because Jerry's has been top of the pops when it comes to putting up content relating to the week's episodes. And people have been interacting back and forth. People have been finding stuff for us. People have been correcting us on things, challenging us on things and giving their opinions. So feel free to, if you can.
I gotta tell you one thing I love to see it, Tom, more and more I love to see it, is that other people who listen to the Tom and Jerry Show, our audience, love you very much. But if you find on Twitter that someone says, I don't have any podcasts to listen to, can anybody recommend some podcasts? Some of you fine folk have been saying, yes, the Tom and Jerry Show. And that brings a fucking tear to my eye, ladies and gentlemen, to think that you would do such a thing to recommend that to other people. Love that.
McBride had his tear ducts removed back in 1992, I believe, because he doesn't like to show, pain or weakness. So that's a fair going. That is class. That's exactly what we're talking about. You know what I mean? It's more so just to get the word out there. If you can leave a review, I think there's only a handful of them that allow you to leave a review. Again, it's really, the more reviews that are left, the more 5-star ratings that are left, which we are at a clean sweep, Jar, of 5-star ratings.
Love it.
On Apple Podcasts.
That's like my adverts.ie profile. I'm just 100% satisfaction.
Exactly, 100% satisfaction from our customers. So if you can keep doing that, please keep doing that. Other than all the rest of it, like Jerry said, if you can keep the recommendations going, throw it up on whatever socials you can. It's the right thing to do. If you like the deep dives, we've got a couple of more very fun ones coming up in the remainder of the season. This season's going to go longer, and it's all because of the love from the people.
Yeah. The minute that love drops, we're gone.
Oh, gone. Oh, literally, we will die on the vine immediately. So please keep that coming, and we'll keep the shows coming. Jerry, good luck.